got a question. What if you could get all the benefits of network marketing without having to become a network marketer? I mean, what if you could get all the benefits of being associated with a legacy network marketing company without any of the crap that comes with the network marketing industry? What if you could have the positive environment, the motivation, the personal development, the entrepreneurial training, the leadership development, the mentorship, the relationships, the events, the recognition, the accountability, the encouragement, the success stories, the community, the systems, the opportunity to learn from successful people, the opportunity to be surrounded by other people who you know are also trying to grow, build, improve their lives, and accomplish something greater. What if you get all that, but you never had to sell somebody else's product? Never had to sell somebody else's service, never had to build somebody else's company, never had to recruit another person to participate, never had to abandon what God put in your hands in order to promote what somebody else had in theirs. What if you could get all that and your product was the product? What if your service was the service? What if your business was the business? What if the entire environment was built around helping you develop yourself, strengthen your business, increase your entrepreneurial intelligence, understand technology, build and establish and strengthen relationships, and become more digitally competitive and grow what you know God called you to build? It's not a what if. It's come get registered. Cause that's the concept behind the kingdommarketplace.com, the digital resurrection of Progress Plaza. We are a social entrepreneurial enterprise ministry. Because the truth is, most entrepreneurs, they doing this thing alone. You got a product, you got a service, you got an idea, you got an experience, you got expertise. We all got a dream. You might even have some customers. But what they don't have is an environment. They don't have somewhere constantly pouring entrepreneurial development inside of them. They don't have a community that recognizes their entrepreneurial progress. They don't have regular events designed around their growth. They don't have mentorship. They daggone sure don't have accountability. They don't have people teaching them how to think entrepreneurially. They don't have a network of other entrepreneurs exchanging information, resources, referrals, or additional money making opportunities. And increasingly, they don't have anybody helping them understand what it means to build a business in the AI driven economy. That's what I spent my life preparing to build. Y'all know I've been in this lane my entire life. My introduction to ministry was everything but conventional. Sully, Reverend Dr. Leon Howard Sullivan, the Lion of Zion before this one, he sunned me when I was a child at 3. Can I get a big wheel first? 40 years ago, at 7, day before I turned 8, he licensed me to preach. Sully was unorthodox. They say you train up a child in the way they should go when they're older. They won't depart. I'm stuck like this. What can I say? I'm unorthodox. My spiritual pops taught through his life, not just his words, but through his life, that you can't preach to people on Sunday, then ignore the economic condition that they're subjected to Monday through Saturday. Can't preach prosperity and ignore entrepreneurial ownership. Can't preach liberation and ignore economic development. Can't preach purpose and never tell people how to turn their gifts, ideas, skills, and abilities into something sustainable. Can't tell somebody to have faith and then refuse to help them acquire the knowledge, discipline, skills, technology, and relationships necessary to change their economic reality. To me, that's just fake. It's not holistic ministry. Sullivan taught me that economic entrepreneurial development is ministry. Entrepreneurial development is ministry. Helping people become economically, entrepreneurially self-sufficiency, that's ministry. Helping somebody take an idea and turn it into an enterprise that can feed their family, that's ministry. And that philosophy has shaped everything I've done my entire friggin' life. 27 years ago, last thing he did in my life, but before we celebrate his life 2 years later, he placed me in an environment where I could begin learning from Fran Tarkington, world of technology, small business development, and entrepreneurship. I wasn't simply learning about business. I was studying how an entrepreneurial ecosystem works, how technology serves business owners, how education can be delivered at scale, how relationships create opportunities, how entrepreneurs, right, can receive resources they normally could not afford individually, how systems could help ordinary people perform at extraordinary levels. And through that ecosystem, I had a front row seat at the development of a platform through which 480,000 small businesses were ultimately passed over the course of 2 decades. That environment has given me exposure to the direct selling and network marketing world in a way that a lot of other people haven't had. And it's allowed me to see something that I deeply respect. Now, I talk about network marketing, got a lot of friends in network marketing, but I'm not a network marketer. I've always appreciated what the best organizations in the industry understood about human development. That's what I love about the network marketing industry. The human development. You know, rather it were, I learned from Holton Buggs, I learned from Donald Bradley, I learned from David Immoniti, I learned from friggin' David Savola, right? Nick Serba, Fran himself. I'm gonna tell you what these 7 and 8 figure earners understand. They understand environment. They understand culture. They understand motivation. They understand recognition. They understand repetition. We understand events. We understand storytelling. We understand the prophetic paramount principle of personal development and putting people before profit. That's what leadership development is all about. Doesn't matter what company you're in. You're going to come across a leader who tells you that the company is nothing more than a personal development plan with a compensation plan attached to it. Yeah, successful people and the people growing business. That's what this is. Understand the power of putting someone in a room where everyone around them is talking about goals instead of limitations. Person can enter that environment with no MBA, no business degree, no powerful connections, no impressive resume, maybe not even having the confidence to approach someone about their product and service. And suddenly somebody is telling them you can become more. You can learn, you can lead, you can grow, you can communicate better. You can become disciplined. You can learn how to sell. You can develop confidence. You can set goals. You can become economically productive. You can build something. That is powerful. And there's a reason, y'all. Millions of people found value in those environments even when they didn't become top earners. They paid those auto ships because they were being developed. There's always been one piece that never completely fit me, though. Eventually, most of those environments revolved around someone else's product, someone else's service, someone else's opportunity. I never wanted to tell everybody, stop building what you believe in and come sell what I'm selling. I never wanted to be that guy. Because the thing that I believe in most deeply is the entrepreneur growing and developing. I don't want to give you something to sell. I want to help you develop what you already selling. Maybe you're a contractor. Maybe you're a consultant. Maybe you're a caterer. Maybe you're a coach. Maybe you're a barber. Maybe you're a beautician. A chiropractor like Jimmy Mosley. Fixing Jimmy stuff now. A photographer, a designer, a retailer. Maybe you're a real estate professional. Nonprofit founder, a pastor, a technological professional, a young entrepreneur. A mother building something from her kitchen table. A professional trying to monetize 20 years of experience. Or someone who's been carrying an idea for 10 years and you finally decided it's time. The Kingdom Marketplace doesn't require you to become who you aren't. We begin with what God has already placed in your hands. Your product is the product. Your service is the service. Your idea is the idea. Your business is the business. Our assignment apostolically is to help build the environment around you. We've been developing this thing for decades. After the founder of USU, Yolanda Denise King, ascended, Reverend William Herbert Gray, Reverend Joseph Lawrence Roberts, the two of the three that walked me in a friend's office, they helped me broker a deal necessary to move us to the next phase. They hooked me up with this printing press that we created the paper church directories. Those directories, we did 403 of them, registered 48,000 folk, and they worked. Directories help identify the businesses. They help connect the businesses. They help communities know who the entrepreneurs were. They helped us begin organizing economic relationships. I took tremendous pride in that work, but that era is over. A directory tells you, here are some businesses. An ecosystem asks, how do we help those businesses become stronger? How do we help those businesses become more visible? How do we help them become more profitable? How do we connect them? How do we educate them? How do we create commerce between them? How do we help them understand technology? How do we help them develop their entrepreneurial capacity? How do we make sure the next generation is learning how to serve and support those businesses? And today, there's another question every entrepreneur must confront. Does AI understand your business? Not can you use AI to make a graphic, not can you use AI to make an email, but does AI understand your business? Does it understand who you are, what you provide, who you serve, where you operate, what problems you solve, what makes you different, what expertise you possess, what categories you belong in, what communities you serve? And when somebody is searching, asking, or relying upon AI for recommendations for somebody who does what you do, does AI know enough about you to recommend you? Does the world understand your business well enough for you to even be considered? That's why helping entrepreneurs become increasingly AI readable and understandable is one of the flagship missions of the Kingdom Marketplace. But AI readability is not the end all be all, it's just the beginning. I'm not interested in building a collection of profiles. I'm interested in being used by God to create an entrepreneurial development environment in the digital world. Same thing I admired about the best legacy entrepreneurial organizations, but centered around independent business ownership. KJ, did you just kick prepaid legal and legal shield to the curb and just recreate the whole breakfast with Fran community? I did. Entrepreneurial education, personal development, AI education, business development training, events, networking, recognition, business showcases, referral opportunities, mentorship, implementation support, digital publishing of your products, your services, your events, your blogs, your articles, leadership development, collaboration, motivation, accountability, and exposure to other entrepreneurs who understand the struggle because they're building just like you does, or are, excuse me. I'm excited. Except nobody has to sell a product. Nobody got to recruit nobody. Nobody got to become a distributor. Nobody has to surrender their individual business identity. You come into the environment to build what belongs to you. That's the difference. Shit's the digital resurrection of Progress Plaza, y'all. See, Progress Plaza demonstrated the power of bringing businesses together physically. Go Small Biz demonstrated the power of delivering entrepreneurial resources and development through technology. Our church and community business directories, that demonstrated the power of identifying and connecting entrepreneurs through the community. Now, the Kingdom Marketplace brings those lessons together in the AI generation. Progress Plaza, Go Small Biz, now the Kingdom Marketplace. It's been a journey. Now, a connected entrepreneurial ecosystem. This is not simply a technology product. It's not a business. It's not a directory. It's not simply a membership organization. This is God's, but it's the ministry he positioned me to provide organizational leader to, ship to. It's a social entrepreneurial enterprise ministry. Because when someone needs economic opportunity, helping them become economically capable matters. When an entrepreneur doesn't understand technology, teaching them matters. When young people need alternatives, providing them matters. When businesses need implementation assistance, need help creating opportunities. When our daughters need positive methods of perpetuating income, that matters. When our entrepreneurs are isolated, bringing them into productive environments, it matters. When someone spent 20 years or more developing a skill, but nobody taught them how to monetize it, then entrepreneurial education matters. And when technology changes the economic landscape, making sure our businesses aren't left behind, that matters. It's what William Herbert Gray III used to call survival ministries. So during the 2026 Black Business Month, 24 days to when Sully licensed me, after decades of entrepreneurial development, after technology, after Go Small Biz, after 480,000 small businesses came through that ecosystem. After partnering with 403 churches and communities developed their paper directories, after decades of studying entrepreneurs, after seeing what works, after seeing what's missing, after putting the pieces together, we're finally ready to reveal to the world what I've actually been building. And I want you to know, everybody can get registered for free. Come on, out from amongst them. Come establish your presence. Come develop your business. Come show off and publish what you've been doing. Come learn. Come build relationships. Come become AI readable. Come participate in the entrepreneurial development environment you deserve. Come help us digitally resurrect the economic principles of Progress Plaza, represented for a new generation, because this is not about building my business at the expense of others. The whole point is to build an environment where your business can grow. So I want to ask every one of you, every entrepreneur, one question. What if? What if you could get all the benefits of network marketing without becoming a network marketer? What if you can get the environment? What if you can get the training? What if you get the personal development, the motivation, the relationships, the events, the recognition, the mentorship, the support, the community, and you ain't got to sell nobody else's product, service, or opportunity? What if the product is your product, the service is your service, and the business is your business? What if the entire environment was built to help you develop and grow? Can you imagine the conferences? Can you imagine the weekly meeting? Can you imagine the big event? Because we're going from event to event to event, from glory to glory to glory. Welcome to the Kingdom Marketplace. I want you to know one thing. No longer do you got to build it alone. Come on. Complete your profile. Go to completeyourprofile.com. And I look forward to seeing an upcoming event and or in the membership section. I don't know about y'all, but I want to thank you for the time that we shared. I hope you feel like I do, as time invested in your future, not time spent. Been a plum pleasing pleasure and a privilege just to ask you a question. Hey, man, if nobody else told you, I love you almost as much as the Father. On behalf of the Father, have an amazing day on purpose. And never, ever, 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 ever forget that the Father made each and every single one of you amazing on purpose. You know who it is. It's the Hustle King, your Kingdom Entrepreneurial Coach, Coach K, getting God the glory, and you.